Oh, thank you. When your case is called, please come up to the podium to my right. The city will present its case at the podium to my left. After I've heard from the city, heard the testimony and reviewed any documents, which you'll have an opportunity to see, you'll then have the same opportunity to tell me anything you feel is relevant about the case. If you have additional documents for me to look at, that would be the time to produce those. Once I've heard everything from both sides, it is my intent to enter an order that resolves the matter in some form or fashion today. If you're going to be testifying or speaking to me about any of the matters on the agenda, your testimony does need to be sworn, so I need to place you under oath. If that is the case for you, please stand and raise your right hand, and I will swear everybody in. Thank you. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. You can have a seat. And with that, why don't we go ahead and proceed?
Agenda item number 3, case number CE21060050, case address 300 Valencia Road.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. The Tom Moore Development Services. At this address, there was a rear building, there's 2 buildings on the lot. The rear building foundation had settled, so the owner wished to level it. One way to accomplish that is with helical piles when they're driven down into the ground. But there was no permit pulled and no underground locates done, and they drove the pile through the sewer line in the easement. So it was brought to our attention by the Utilities Department. And on May 27th, a red tag was issued, a stop work. On September 13th, Alpha Foundations applied for a permit, and it has not been issued yet. The building was posted October 18th on the residence. Certified mail was returned. But we're here to try to get the permit issued and rectified.
What remedy is the city recommending in this case?
Well, we would like them to continue the process to get the permit issued.
Do you have a sense for what's left to do before the permit is issued? Is it in the city's hands at this point, or is it in the...
It's in the contractor's, it's back to the contractor to make plan review corrections, okay, and then resubmit.
Okay. How long has it been in that state?
September 13th it left here.
So the contractor's had it since September?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Looks like we have a representative for the respondent. Sir, if you can give me your name and address, and then you can proceed.
Yes, thank you. William Pincus. My business address is Pincus and Courier, 1555 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, Suite 320, West Palm Beach, 33401.
Thank you. And your legal counsel for the respondent?
I am, and the owner, Ms. Ross, the owner's representative, Ms. Ross, is here with me today as well.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. I would confirm the remarks from the city with one exception. I think the city said that the permit application was submitted on September 13th. It was actually submitted, I believe, August 23rd. September 13th, the city took exception to it. And quite frankly, the contractor did nothing about that. I was hired on Saturday. I've already gotten commitments from the contractor that they're going to follow up and finish this site plan. I saw the site plan the contractor submitted. I understand why the city rejected or took exception to it. What I would like the commission to know is that, or the magistrate to know, is that this is not an instance where the owner tried to do work without getting a permit. I have an email. I have copies for the city and yourself, if I may approach.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and show whatever you have
Certainly.
To the inspector, and then I'll take a look.
Would you like me to submit a copy to yourself?
Does the city have any objection?
I'd like to
to the
see it first,
document?
please.
Yeah, you can bring it up.
Thank you.
I'd like to see it first, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had it. Show, go ahead and show the city attorney.
Thank you.
If I could just clarify what the gentleman was referring to, September 13th was not when it was issued, but it was when it was, the first plan reviews were, when it failed and sent back to the contractor. I think they applied in
Sounds like we're all
August.
in agreement on what
Okay.
happened on September 13th.
I'm sorry.
They were just clarifying what happened on September 13th. Sounds like everybody's in agreement on that.
I apologize, I'm just reading. Sir? The city has no objections to the emails. Basically, just submitting them to you, I would submit that, you know, this tribunal is not for litigating, you know, the entire case. This is about the permit. And can you submit those to the magistrate, sir?
Yeah, let me go ahead and get those. All right, then without objection, what we have are two pieces of email correspondence. Both, the first one started on August 14th and then concluded on November 2nd, and the second one is also dated November 2nd. Those will both be made part of the record in this case.
Thank you.
So it looks like you've made some forward progress in a pretty quick fashion in the last day or so.
Yes, and the reason, I'm not trying to litigate the matter, but the reason I present these, the first email is from 2019, before the work began, when the...
Oh, it is too, you're right, I saw August 14th, but it's actually, yeah.
It was from when, before the work began, when the owner first signed, and you see that the owner specifically stated that their understanding was that the contractor would get the permit, and the
Yep.
contractor replies and says, pardon me, we will start the process of permitting. So the owner always thought that this was being done in accordance with the ordinances of Palm Beach County. And then, as I say, I was hired yesterday, or Saturday, but yesterday I did obtain this commitment from the contractor that they are going to follow up and complete. And by the way, we're talking, of course, about a retroactive permit, the permit that should have been improved before any work was done. I have their commitment in writing. I will personally ride herd on them. And I'd ask this commission to give my client, 45 days to allow me time to wrap up the permit process, which I'm confident I can do if given the extension of time.
Let me ask this question. Once the permitting process is concluded and the permit's been issued, is there still additional work to be done, or is the work pretty much done and it has to be inspected?
No, there will be, your question is an important question. It's not what this hearing's about, but a pipe was broken when they put the pillar in. They can't touch the city sewer lines. It's not their position. They have committed that they are going to pay the city, reimburse the city for all costs the city incurs in repairing its sewer line on that property. I understand there may be problems elsewhere on that sewer line that we're certainly not responsible for. But to the extent that the city has to repair the sewer line on 300 Valencia, the contractor has committed that they are going to pay the cost of that.
Okay, thank you for that. Let me ask City Attorney, in this case, since they've been cited for the violation of 105.1, failure to secure a building permit. Once the permit's been issued, does that, in the city's eye, bring the code enforcement case into compliance, and then they'd be under the building code to complete the rest of the issues, or what's the city's position on compliance for the code enforcement violation that was cited?
Well, I believe, how do you guys usually do it, sir? It's
Well, yeah.
issuance of the permit, and then they get the time to fix
Right,
or
and it's good
complete.
it's good for 6 months with no activity, but if there's activity on it, it'll continue to stay open. We were suggesting, 60 days. If he needs 45, he can have 60, and to get the permit issued, and then we'll follow up after that with the damages. I'm sure he won't get a final on that permit. The permit won't close until the sewer's repaired, and utilities says they're satisfied with it.
And I understand that, and that kind of gets to my question. I understand the building permit will be open and active, but the code enforcement case,
To issue the
will that be
permit.
considered in compliance when the building permit is issued?
Correct.
That seems to me would be the,
Correct.
Yes.
all right, and the cities has no objection to 60. You asked for 45.
I'll take the city's offer.
I'm inclined to give 60 as well, to get the permit issued, and then that should take it out of code enforcement.
Thank you.
All right, is
You
there
still-
anything else, sir, that you'd like to tell me?
No, that's everything, thank
All right,
you.
anything
There
else from
should
the
be
city?
a penalty after the 60 if he doesn't comply with that.
In my mind, I would probably be doing I'd order $100 a day daily fines
That's
until
fine.
compliance is achieved.
Respectfully, I think that should be an issue that would then be litigated or discussed at the time if we fail in 60 days, because after all, suppose we fail and there's a hurricane, an earthquake, it ought to be decided if we fail, whether there's a penalty.
Typically, we decide it
Understood.
now.
Okay, all right. I'll take all that into consideration. Thank you. I do.
If I
Fine.
can I weigh in on that just in case? Obviously, it's our procedure here in our hearings
Understood.
that we would like you to consider that now.
Understood. Okay, I do find proper notice in this case. The city has the proper notice documents in its file, and the respondent is present and also represented by counsel. I have reviewed the evidence and heard the testimony from both the city and the respondent. I do find the property remains in violation of city code or building code 105.1, failure to secure a building permit. I'm going to allow 60 days for compliance to be achieved, meaning the issuance of the building permit. If building permit is not issued within 60 days, I will order daily fines in the amount of $100 per day until compliance is achieved. So that being said, if you're day 55 and it's looking like there's a roadblock, please stay in touch with the city, ask for an opportunity to come back and request additional time.
Certainly, thank you.
And I'll be happy to consider that. Hopefully it won't be necessary, but we'll do it that way. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item number 8, case number CE 211-00149, case address 335 Clematis Street.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 335 Clematis Street. Special magistrate on Monday, October 4th, 2021 at approximately 10 a.m. Andrew Burnett, the landscape planner and inspector, heard chainsaws and saw contractors cutting down 3 trees on the south end of this property, 335 Clematis Street. He engaged the contractors, and the contractor indicated, he claimed that he had a permit to remove those trees. Andrew informed Ray Caranci, senior landscape planner, and verified that there was no permit to remove those trees. Ray Caranci subsequently went out to the site and informed the contractor that there was emphatically no permit to remove the trees and to stop and not remove the fourth tree, which was along the north end of the alleyway. The contractor proceeded to remove the fourth tree for a total of, the last tree, which was the fourth tree. The contractor proceeded to remove the fourth tree, and city staff had left. I was subsequently notified on October 5th, which I initially cited the property on October 13th, 2021. Certified mail was sent on October 14th, 2021. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. The property was cited for 94-448-D-1 tree alteration permit. Also was cited for 94-448-D-3-B, tree location and replacement trees without permits. It was also cited for 94-448-G, penalty, which for the removal of the trees without a permit. Let's see. There was a permit that was submitted on 7/8/20 for the seal coating and restriping of the parking lot, and that permit was approved on 9/7/21. And so in that permit specifically indicated that all four trees were to remain on the property, that the trees could not be removed. But to no avail, those trees were removed. And in the drawings, which are part of the case file there, it did indicate in writing, clearly in writing, that the trees were to remain there on the property and were not to be removed at all. And so that's the reason we're here today, for the removal of the four trees.
Okay, what's the city's recommendation in this case?
City staff did talk, and we looked into these issues. Per code section 26-35, which addresses penalties, in that particular section 26-35-B, it talks about irreparable and irreversible violations. And these certainly are irreparable and irreversible in nature. And so the city's asking for $15,000 per tree.
Got it. All right, looks like we have a representative on behalf of the respondent. Sir, you can go ahead and tell me your name and address.
Yeah, Sammy Diamond, 9192 Bay Point Circle, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33411.
Thank you, sir. And are you counsel for the respondent, or you?
No, I'm the manager at that location.
All right, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
We got a permit for the parking lot paving and restriping. We went to an engineer. This has been going on for a long time because the city wanted it done. We gave our contractor, the contractor picked up the permits and the application. For some reason, he cut the trees. He wasn't authorized to cut the trees. It wasn't we didn't direct him to cut the trees. We got the plan and we expected him to comply with the permit. I have the contractor now, he can testify as to what he did. And also in mitigation of this, we have a plan that's been approved by the city to build a hotel at that location. As part of that plan, the trees will be removed because of where they were located. So this was only a temporary situation. We were paving the parking lot to comply with what the city building department, code enforcement wanted, but in reality, this was a temporary fix, to be in compliance.
What's the status of those future plans for the hotel?
Well, we have the plans are submitted and they were approved. We were working on the financing, unfortunately, with the COVID and things, it kicked us back. But we should have the financing in place, and we should be starting this very shortly. I can submit a diagram of the hotel. I know the city wants this built. And as you can see, the plan does not encompass those trees or.
Has any development order been issued for that project at this point? I understand building permits haven't, but has it gone through site plan approvals and that?
Yeah, I believe it has.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Now, can I bring up the contractor?
Sure. Go ahead and show it to the city attorney and code enforcement officer, and then I'll take a look.
Again, further, we tried to contact the arborist to try to work something out, but apparently they wanted Your Honor to do that.
How you guys doing today? I'm the paving contractor, not a tree removal guy. I'm the guy doing the paving work, was hired by Scott Diamond and Sam to
Okay.
do the paving work, known him for a while. And I hired a tree guy to come in and cut the trees out. Again, I'm not a tree guy, I don't know. And he asked me, do I have the permit? I said, yes, I do. Because I know in paving, we're always required to get the landscaping permit is included in the paving. So I assumed the trees was covered through that permit. I didn't know there was a separate permit for cutting down trees. Now, on the behalf of what I cut the trees down, it said remove. This was kind of a mistake I made because I went out to the job personally. Like I said, I'm not the guy who cut the trees down. I'm not the guy who came out and got questions about, that was the tree guy that cut the trees down. I came out and looked at the trees with the plan, and if I can show him or you, I can show you. I didn't grab the proper one. There's two sheets exactly the same. One's a stamped, little red stamped approval. I went out on the job site later on that evening with this one, and I circled it. I sent it to everybody in the email where it says existing trees to be removed, and it pointed to 3 of them, and that's where I got confused, and I told the tree guy what trees to take out. The 4th tree was told by an additional person that one needed to be cut out too, and I got on the tree guy because he didn't call me, and he took the 4th tree out anyways. But the tree guy was supposed to take 3 of them out, according to what I told him. But again, if I can show you guys where it says remove. Okay. I'm not making excuses. I'm just showing you what I did. I went on the site, and of course I made a rookie mistake, which I should have never did. Been in business for a while. Never had no problem with nobody. I didn't I grabbed the wrong.
Okay, but
the wrong paper.
as you can see here on this
It says
particular
remain.
plan,
It says remain.
this is the one that's stamped by the
Yes,
city,
it says
okay?
remain.
And it says that existing trees to remain.
No, I'm not arguing one bit.
Okay,
about that.
now, this is the one that you all subsequently
Yeah.
emailed over and
It wasn't approved.
and it wasn't
I
approved.
understand that.
And somehow, someone indicated on here, existing trees to be removed, which that's not the direction
Like I said,
that the city.
I understand, but I'm just
gave.
showing you how I got confused with.
Okay.
I should took the seal set
Okay,
out to the job site,
All
but I
right.
didn't in a hurry, grabbed the wrong paper.
okay.
That's how that happened on my half. And like I said,
So if you want me to take a look at those, I need
oh,
to
yeah,
see
yeah, no
them.
problem. I didn't know if you want me to bring them up or not.
And then, with this was the first set of documents that,
That's the approved one by the city, and as you can see, it has a city seal, and if you look down here,
I see.
it says that the trees are to remain.
Yeah, nice circle down there. It says
East
remain.
tree. And then what's the other?
Oh, this was the same thing you got. I was just showing a difference.
Okay.
That's how I got confused by grabbing both papers and not paying attention, and I should have not did it. I've been in business long enough to know you never go to a site without this little red seal on it.
Right.
And I did. But again, I'm not a tree guy, I'm a paving contractor, just trying to help out them to get the process moving, and I kinda stepped in the wrong direction.
Mr. Williams.
And also I have a, I don't know if you guys got this sheet from the arborist that you guys asked for?
Let me just ask, the unstamped page that has the reference to the trees to be removed, where did that come from?
From the engineer that was drawing, because was dealing with this for over a year, trying to get the permits to get the little parking lot repaved, and there was a lot of emails sent back and forth through the engineer drawings.
So this was an iteration of the engineer drawings that occurred at some point?
Yes, it didn't get approved, but I got a hold of.
So at some point that changed and the city
Yes.
approved the one that said trees to remain?
That document, that drawing, wherever it came from their source. It did not come from the city. That
No, I
second.
understand.
Okay. In addition to that, an email was also, that document was attached to an email, and what that email said is, trees removed from 335 Clematis Street. It was sent to Ray Caranci on October 5th from their contractor, J&N Asphalt, AT&T.net.
That's me.
It says, to the city of West Palm Beach, in reference to the trees that were removed at 355 Clematis Street due to a clerical error, wrong survey was given to foreman for job site that says remove trees, attached is copy of survey, and that was that survey. Several surveys and paperwork was sent to the city, and our company throughout the year is in process, and throughout the year in processing permit. If the city will supply a list of trees that would be suitable for replacement, we will have them installed. Our company is sorry for this error and appreciate any help to rectify the situation. And so this email is also a part of the file as well. And so,
And you said that was your
That's me,
email?
yes, yes.
So you're familiar with that?
Yes, that's word for word. Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with it. Like I said, it's the first time I ever did something like this, and I usually don't make mistakes like this, but it happens.
There was one other document, I think it was the rendering of the future development. That,
Yes.
Is there any objection to that being made part of the record?
No.
And I think the testimony was that there has been site plan approval for this. It still has to go through permitting and that sort of thing. Is that?
Did you guys happen to get a copy of the arbiter recommendation of?
All right. Just housekeeping without objection, from the respondent, the first document, the formal site plan review for 335 Clematis Street, the rendering is made part of this record. We have the paving, striping, and landscape plan, the official stamped version that's part of the permit is part of the record, and then the version that was provided by the respondent that is not part of the permit, is not the official permit version that says existing trees to be removed, and is also made part of the record. All right. Is Ray still here?
Yes, he is.
I have a question. I'm sorry to be informal. And state your name and position with the city for the record.
Ray Caranci, Senior Landscape Planner for the City of West Palm Beach.
Mr. Crancy, can you give me some additional testimony on your interaction with the contractor when you went out to the site and advised not to cut down the fourth tree, and then they went ahead and cut down the fourth tree after you told them not to?
Yes, after Andrew informed me, I immediately went down there and talked to the contractor. They had already cut down the 3 trees and were proceeding to cut them up, and told him that they did not have a permit, in fact, to remove the trees. The contractor that on site claimed that they did, and I said, no, you do not have a tree alteration permit, which would be required to remove trees.
Did you identify yourself as
I
what your
did.
position with the city was? And
Yep, I did, and when after I left, then when I went back later that day, they had in fact removed the 4th tree.
All right, do you have any questions for Mr.
No,
Clancy?
I actually talked to him on the phone about it, and because I told him I didn't know
Okay.
in that situation. A couple days later, I talked to him, and he told me he identified himself. He was the tree arborist, that guy who was cutting the trees down. Like I said, I just hired him because I knew him. And like I said, I wasn't on site, so I didn't know that took place, because that would have never took place, because I'm in the business. I'm a paving contractor. I know how to deal with people. So, I mean, that was the wrong thing for the guy to do. The guy should have stopped cutting the trees down. I did not pay the guy, and I'm waiting to find out what happens before that takes place with me with the tree guy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Did
Is
you
there
guys
anything
want-
else? What else?
Do you guys want the paperwork, because you guys asked for our arbiter to give a report of the
I'll
tree?
be happy to look at whatever you want to submit that is relevant to the case. Let's just go ahead and show it to the city first. And thank you, Mr. Krantz. I don't have any other questions for you. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Special.
I was out there doing some measurements now, and actually the tree trunk itself is actually, we'd have to cut into the tree trunk itself to get the parking lot corner where it belongs at. So, I mean, the tree trunk is actually in the asphalt parking lot. So when he was asking us first to grind the roots out, we'd have to grind into the stump of the tree to get it where it needed to be, the parking lot. So, I mean, that's not saying it makes it right to cut the tree down. I'm just saying most likely the tree would have become a problem and would have died anyways. But that's, I'm not a tree guy, so I don't know.
I understand. Any objection to the last set of documents?
No, none at
Yeah,
all.
go ahead and get those.
I have no objection to the report if you want to look at it real quickly.
Okay. All right, then without objection, this is a 14-page arboriculture tree report from Sutton Consulting Arborists, Inc., dated October 30th, 2021, which reaches a conclusion that any replacement tree, root pruning was not an option due, and recommended any replacement tree be a palm. A small species of palm at maturity would be the best choice. Without objection, that report is also made part of the record. All right, is there anything else from the respondent in this case?
No.
Okay, counsel, or, sir, anything else?
I believe the permit did allow us to cut the roots at a certain angle, is that correct? Oh, you don't-
It was in the plans
Yeah.
to remove the roots, and we applied for the permit.
That's what the root thing came up.
Understood. All right. Anything else from the city?
No, none at all. Again, magistrate, the city would certainly like for you to consider with regard to Code Section 2635, the penalty section, as these violations are irreparable and irreversible in nature, and the city would like for you to consider a fine of $15,000 per tree.
So, from the city attorney, my latitude is from $0 to $15,000 per violation in this case.
That is what the city believes, yes, sir.
That's how I read the code as well, and
We would like the city to consider, regardless of the status of any site plan approval, that this is a separate and distinct violation, or violations for violations, that are under your purview today. And, under the city's process, they certainly would be afforded the process to have you come to a conclusion today, the opportunity to pay a fine, whatever you may determine, if anything, today. And if that fine is not paid, it would be, a lien would be recorded, and then they ultimately would have the opportunity for a lien reduction process if it came to it.
Okay. So in this case, I do find proper notice. The city has signed certified mail, and the respondent was properly represented here at the hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence and all the documents that have been provided, I do find the property has violated the city code sections that were cited. I find that the violations are irreparable and irreversible in nature. A mitigating factor is the fact that this property has been approved for basically a complete demolition and rebuild of an entirely new site. So I am taking that into consideration. What I'm going to do, we have 4 trees, and I'm going to treat them a little differently. I think I appreciate the respondent's kind of mea culpa attitude. You don't realize the mistake was made. It was, I believe, based on what I heard, this was not intentional, at least not for the first 3 trees. I think, nevertheless, as you've indicated yourself, the official permit copy is very clear that the trees were not to be removed. So for the first 3 trees, I'm going to impose a one-time fine of $7,500 per tree. 4th tree, I'm imposing the full $15,000 penalty because I find it completely incredulous that an official city representative would go to the site, tell the person to stop, that there's not a permit, and they basically disregard that and continue to cut down the tree. There is absolutely no excuse in my mind for that. I will impose the maximum $15,000 for the 4th tree. And, you know, if this does come back in the future for a request for a mitigation and it comes before me, it'll be a hard sell, especially on that 4th tree. There's no excuse that the chainsaw should have been put away after the city's official representative told them to stop. So that is my order in this case. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Agenda item number 4, case number CE 21090069, case address 701 South Rosemary Avenue, Unit 127.
Tom Moore Development Services. At this location in City Place, Casper Sleepwear have had a couple signs installed, and their contractor never got a permit.
Is that one of the Casper sign? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Or are we talking about the thing on the door? Oh, that's a picture of the notice. That's what we're talking about there?
That sign, as well as the blade sign on the wall.
Okay. Oh, the black one there?
Yes.
Okay.
So the red tag was issued. This, first of all, came complaint from zoning. But then to us, a red tag was issued on September 8th. And we followed up with it. We posted it on site on October 18th. Mail was received October 20th. We're asking for 60 days to get a permit or $50 a day.
Okay. Is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent for this case? How did you get notice for today, for this case?
How did?
Notice?
Was certified mail and posted the premises.
Was the certified mail received, or did they?
Yes, received October 20th.
All right. It doesn't look like anybody's here on behalf of the respondent, but the city has proper notice with the signed certified mail and the posting. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 1, case number CE 21090039, case address 424 Lilac Court.
Cassandra St. Hilaire, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on September 3rd. Certified mail was received September 10th. Property and City Hall were posted September 10th. Property was cited for 94482A, 86-226, and 94446-2. I've had contact with the property owner. Property has complied with code sections 86-226 and 94446-2. The remaining violation is the driveway repair. The property owner did apply for the permit, so we're just waiting on approval by the building department. So the city is recommending 60 days or $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
60 days and what?
$50 a day.
50? Okay, and the permit is in the review process right now?
Yeah, I think they're waiting for him to resubmit, but he did apply for it. There's a few notes on there asking that he resubmit of
The
the plan.
pictures from the other day look really good.
Yeah, so I guess we just need building to sign off on it.
All right, let me hear from respondent. Yes, sir. Let me get your name and address, and then you can tell me about the
You would
case.
like the property address or my home address, sir?
You can give me the property address, that's fine.
Property address is 424 Lilac Court, West Palm Beach, 33407.
And you're Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, go ahead.
I received this violation on the 6th. It said it was on the 3rd on the paperwork. I purchased this property in May 15th of 2009. There was already a lien against the property for the value of $9,375 from the prior owner. There was a house on the property. It was boarded up. Upon receiving the property, I acquired proper permits, demolished the property, and installed new sod, sir. I also received a violation for people parking on the swale. The city came along, I don't know if it was the city, but an infrastructure project was taking place on my property between 5/19, which was the 2010 of the lien reduction hearing. The fine was reduced to 0. The city, or I don't want to say the city, but someone, without my knowledge, dug a large hole in my property to place a 6-inch green PVC sewer line. And in doing so, destroyed my lawn. Also, the swale had shrubs and a tree on it. The city removed that as well. It was impossible at one time for cars to park on the swale. I don't know how to make the analogy. It's sort of like the city punched me in the face and it is fining me for looking ugly. And the fine says $1,000 a day. I have pictures of the prior property and of the green pipe that the city, again, did the city place the pipe on my property? It is part of the city infrastructure. I'm not looking to get the permit taken care of. I'm looking for reimbursement for the new sod. They also cut down 2 trees. And according to the last person, it was $15,000 a tree. The tree in the swale was cut down, and a palm tree in the back of my property was cut down, I suppose, in order for the backhoe to access the property in order to dig the hole. Would the special magistrate like to see my photographs?
I'll be happy to look at them. I will tell you that I am, based on everything I've heard, I'm not going to find any violations regarding landscape maintenance or the parking in the swale. So,
What about the charge of the $518 for the new sod?
Well,
I
that's
paid $580 prior for new sod.
understood. That's way above my pay grade. I don't have authority to order the city to compensate you for that. There are, I suppose, other channels that you can travel down to work on that, but that my job is simply to make determinations on whether violations of the city code have, that are alleged have been proved or not. So that's, I can't order that. That's beyond my jurisdiction.
Understood. Now about the driveway permit, got this flow chart from the city website. Is it okay if I ask the city, is it a residential driveway?
You can ask questions of Ms. St. Hilaire.
Is it a
It is
residential
a residential
driveway?
neighborhood, so I would believe so.
I didn't hear, sir.
I said it's a residential neighborhood, so I'm guessing so. But again, this is why you submit your plans to the building department, and they put notes in there letting you know that you have to resubmit. These are questions that
Is it
are,
connected to a county-maintained roadway?
I do not know. These are questions that you would have to ask the building inspector, the building department, which you submitted the paperwork
According to the flow chart, no permit is required for a new driveway.
Okay, speak to the building department.
I don't understand, Your Honor. The code enforcement is right here. They're not willing to speak to me now. The fine is $1,000 a day to not be in compliance, and the wheels are grinding very slowly. The time it took for the paperwork to go through, I installed an entire yard of sod, and I dug up 4.24 yards of, not concrete, of dirt and road base in order to make a place for the new driveway.
All right, give me a minute here.
And I'm waiting on paperwork. I can have that driveway poured this Saturday.
I'm okay with either he gets the permit or he gets something from the building saying he doesn't need a permit. That's fine with me. So what's the- Special magistrate is Mark Joyce, City, West Palm Beach Code
Give me a
Enforcement.
second, Mr. Joyce. I'm reading the code here.
Okay.
All right, so, we're getting balled up on whether a permit is required. The city has not cited you with doing work without a permit that's required. The city has cited you for having a driveway that needs to be repaired. Whether you need a permit to repair the driveway or you don't need a permit to repair the driveway really is not an issue that I am looking at. I'm looking at a picture showing the driveway in disrepair and it needs to be fixed. If you need a permit to fix it, then you got to get a permit. If you don't, then you don't. And the building department can
City
tell
is
you that,
stating
but
that
either, it's my turn.
I'm sorry.
Either way, the driveway has to be fixed to get it out of code enforcement. Whether it needs a permit or not is not relevant to what is being put before me this morning. If you need a permit, then you need to get a permit, or they could cite you for doing work without a permit. But if you don't need a permit, then you can just do the work and be done with it, and then they can come and inspect it and say, now you're in compliance with the driveway in need of repair violation, and the code enforcement case will be done. So that's where we are, in my view, with that code section. Mr. Joyce, go ahead. You were gonna.
I was just going to point out that obviously if he submitted a permit and they've already reviewed it and made comments on it and sent it back to him to make revisions, that he needs a permit. Otherwise, they would have just told him you don't need a permit for this.
I have 2 emails, Your Honor, Special Magistrate, where I submitted the permit, and I submitted the application for the permit, and the permit librarian said that a survey of the property had been submitted on my behalf by the city. I believe the city has access to the survey of my property. in the notes for the refusal of the permit, it said, that I need a survey, whereas the secretary already said that the survey was submitted on my behalf through the city, and then the denial of the application stated that I needed a survey. Within the day, I submitted a survey of the property and the property lines. So again, it seems like I'm getting slowed down. I can have the driveway installed this Saturday.
So getting the work done is not an issue?
It's not an issue.
Okay. Let me ask the city, do you have any sense for, if this needs a permit, do you have a sense for where it is in the process and when that can be issued?
The last note I read on the case was that he needed to resubmit. I really didn't dig too much into it, but again, he already submitted. They send the applicant's email back and forth, letting them know what they need next. I'm not privy to that conversation. That's between him and the building department, but they did put a note in there that he was notified that he needed to submit his plans. So he does need a permit, because like Mark Joyce said, they would have told him when he went to apply that this did not require a permit. So if he needs additional time to get that done, we're not objecting to that. We'll give the additional time, but we can't make the determination of if they ask you for a survey night, they don't need a survey. I wasn't part of that conversation.
Okay. I mean, I will tell you, Mr. Miller, I'm not familiar with the flow chart. I've had plenty of code enforcement cases for residential driveways that need to be repaired. My recollection is that people got permits for those. I'm not trying to argue with you. Again, my bottom line is whether it needs a permit or not is the only thing that's factoring into in my mind is how much time to give you to get that work done. And I'm willing to give you plenty of time because it sounds like there's questions about whether or not a permit is needed.
Special magistrate, I'm not the one asking for time. The city seems to be the one asking for the time in order to do the paperwork.
No, the
I've been
city has-
cited several times about due diligence, and
Well-
I don't know if the city's ever laid sod. It's not an easy job, but it was done the very next day after receiving the citation.
I understand that, and again, I'm not finding you in violation of the landscape maintenance code section. But at the end of the day, the reason that time is important is if I give you a certain amount of time and the driveway is not repaired within that time, then daily fines start to accrue, and I don't want to see that happen to you, so.
I don't want that happening to me as well. Can I call the concrete company and have it delivered this Saturday?
Well, I'm not, again, if it needs a permit, then you gotta get a permit before the work is done. If it doesn't, then you don't. My suggestion would
Is
be
the
to get it
city
to fit.
website up to date? Is this flow chart viable?
Sir, all I can comment on is that I know when you submit a permit, they email you and let you know what is needed, what's next in the process. So you might have to look at your email records and see what the building department suggested that you do. Because if you go and pour down concrete Saturday and it has not been approved, you might run the risk of the inspector going out there and making you remove it and start all over again. You have to follow the process.
Mr. Joyce, is there someone Mr. Miller could speak to offline about getting a definitive answer on this issue? I mean, we're not going to get an answer.
I could take him across the hallway. He need to just go across the hallway and talk to somebody in building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Miller, is there anything else you'd like to tell me, sir?
I've been to the city before across the hallway, and I was turned away. I actually came up here in person and was told to come back when Miss St. Hilaire was in office, and she wasn't in the office. I have phone records of numerous calls made to the city, messages left, and no response until it got closer and closer to the court hearing.
Okay. Well-
I want to comment on that. That is incorrect. Mr. Miller did call several times and never left a number, and then he showed up without an appointment, and he was told to make an
Okay,
appointment.
all right, look, I get it, and again, this issue's not gonna get solved here and now. An offer's been made to walk you across the hall with city personnel, and we'll see if that can get resolved, but either way, my order in this case will be, first of all, I find proper notice. The city has proper notice documents in its file, and Mr. Miller is present at the hearing today. Based on the testimony and the evidence that I've reviewed, I find the property has complied with City Code Sections 86-226 regarding parking and 94-446 regarding landscape maintenance. I find the property remains in violation of City Code 94-482A regarding the driveway in need of repair. I'm going to allow you 90 days to get that into compliance. And again, I don't know if you need a permit or not. If you do, you need to get it. If you don't, then you don't. But if it's not complied within 90 days, I will assess daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved. So let's try and help him get this permit question answered. I mean, it sounds like there's a permit in process. So either way, 90 days should be plenty of time to get this last violation straightened out. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Special Magistrate.
Agenda item number 14, case number CE 211-00038, case address 806 Hampton Road.
Good morning, Sonny Benz, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. Can you recall this case? Give me 5 minutes and recall this case, please.
Can you recall it?
Yes, within 5 minutes.
Okay,
Thank you.
5 minutes. We'll be right back with you, ma'am. Let's pick another one.
Agenda item number 11, case number CE 2108-0274, case address 523 24th Street.
Good morning. Joe Patrick, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This case is in reference to an occupied apartment building that was issued a notice of violation via certified mail-in posting at City Hall and on the property on August 23rd for several code violations.
Is that an occupied what building?
It's an occupied apartment building.
Oh, apartment
It's an
building, okay.
Old apartment building that's being rented out right now. There was a deck installed without a permit. The notice of violation required compliance, to obtain a permit within 45 days. There was major plumbing repairs completed without a permit. The old pipes were improperly discarded at a nearby vacant lot and have since been removed. Notice violation required compliance by obtaining a permit within 45 days. The windows are stuck and very difficult to open, and there are items on the stairs of the unpermitted deck causing unsafe egress. The notice of violation required the windows to be repaired and the items to be removed within 15 days. There are holes and openings on the exterior of the structure, along with mildew, discoloration, and flaking paint. The notice of violation required compliance within 45 days. There are cracks and holes and openings in the interior walls and ceiling. Notice of violation required compliance within 45 days. The interior stairways in disrepair. Boards were removed to make plumbing repairs. Again, there is no permit obtained for those repairs. The boards need to be properly secured and painted. There are issues with the plumbing inside the building. There appears to be plumbing water intrusion from pipes. There is also a broken pipe to the rear of the building. Notice of violation required those repairs to be done within 30 days. Some of the wall unit air conditioners are leaking and don't appear to be properly secured. One of the dryers in the laundry room isn't operating, and there are light switches with no lights in some of the common areas of the building. The notice of violation required compliance within 30 days. There also appears to be termite damage, and there are several rat traps on the property indicating rodent infestation. The notice of violation required a report and a plan from an exterminator within 30 days. There is no valid rental license or certificate of use for this apartment building. The notice of violation required compliance within 30 days for that code section. There's a chain link fence in disrepair on the property. The notice of violation required removal, repair, or replacement of the fence. would be replaced and a permit would be needed within 30 days. The backyard of the building has no landscaping. It consists of dirt and weeds. The notice of violation required the backyard be restored within 30 days. After notice of violation was issued, I spoke to and had several email correspondence with the property manager, Tyler. He's present here today. We discussed ways to bring the property in compliance. As of today, however, no permits have been applied for, no repairs have appeared to be made, and no compliance inspection has been called in. I did speak with Tyler, however, yesterday and then this morning briefly before the hearing, and he did show a report from an exterminator showing that at least there's something in place right now to address the termite, roach, and rodent infestation on the property. He also indicated that the sod was going to be replaced this Saturday, and he had some other documents as well, but I didn't have a chance to really take a look at those documents yet because it was a little bit after the hearings already started.
Okay.
Okay. So as of today, the property remains out of compliance with code sections 105.1 and 1110. No permits have been applied for the deck or plumbing repairs. 18100 Safe Egress. No inspection has been called in to ensure the windows are operating safely or to confirm the items have been removed from the stairs. 18103B and 18103C, the exterior and interior walls remain in disrepair. 18103F for the interior stairway in disrepair. 18103G for the plumbing in disrepair. 18103I for the wall unit, air conditioners, dryers, and lights in the common area in disrepair. Just a quick note on that. Tyler did indicate this morning that the dryer was fixed and the lights were repaired, but again, I just have to go out and confirm that that's the case at this point. 18106E is regarding the extermination remediation plan. It appears something that, the last time the exterminator was out there was in September. We're now in November. I have a tenant here to testify. She could testify if she's still having issues with the bugs and rodents at this time.
Okay.
Okay. 18162 and 18232A, no rental license or certificate of use have been obtained for this property. It was actually applied for, but it was never paid for at this point.
The rental license and the certificate of use, they were applied for, but not
paid for at this
paid
point.
for. Okay. So they're still out, they haven't been issued.
That's correct, yes, sir. That section remains, those sections remain a violation.
Okay.
94302A, the chain link fence remains in disrepair. 94446-2, again, Tyler indicated that that backyard would be restored this Saturday, but as of today, it remains out of compliance. The city is asking for compliance with all code sections within 60 days, or a $250 a day fine be assessed. And again, there is a tenant here to testify if you have any questions for us, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Petrick. Yes, sir, you can give me your name and address, then you can tell me about the case.
Sure thing. Tyler Highland, address 7592 Great Oak Drive in Lake Worth, Florida. So as of right now, to date, we have all the lights repaired on the interior. Sod installation is either this Thursday or Friday. I'll have a confirmed date today. Additionally, I was here last week on Wednesday. I had the surveys pulled from the records so that way I can successfully apply for the permits. The reason that I was asking for an extension is multiple reasons. One being, I mean, the scope of the violations. There are quite a few. Obviously, the timeline for the permitting, as well as the associated cost of making these repairs.
Okay. So you're in process, you're just asking for additional time to
Yes,
get
sir.
the work done. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
No, that was about it.
All right. Anything else from the city on this one?
As far as the time frame is concerned, there's some that could be safety violations, some that can't. For example, we want to make sure that the windows open properly in case there's a fire. Also, the stairway can be cleared off. We don't want anybody tripping if they have to exit the building in a rush. Excuse me. Also, this is a fairly tall building. Those air conditioning units, those wall units on the top seem to be just wedged in with a piece of hurricane shutter or some type of aluminum. And we need to confirm that those aren't going to fall down on somebody. And as far as the rodent infestation and the insect infestation, the exterminator hasn't been out there, from what I've seen, since September. We need to get him out there a little bit quicker, because that could be a health safety violation as well. The rest don't appear to be, just looking real quick, any type of safety violation, just those 3 items, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, so in this case, the city does have proper notice. Respondent's representative is present at today's hearing. Based on the evidence and the testimony that I have reviewed, I do find property remains in violation as cited. I tend to agree with Mr. Petrick. I think the violation of City Code 18100 regarding safe egress, windows and doors, and the stairs, 18103F regarding also the stairways, and 18106E regarding the extermination can reasonably be considered to be serious violations that constitute a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. So on those 3, I am going to accept the city's recommendation and require those to be complied within 60 days. If you need permits for those, that needs to be a priority, but those need to be addressed immediately. On the other violations, you got the landscape maintenance, the fence, the chain link fence, the certificate of use, the rental license, the air conditioners and clothes dryers, the other miscellaneous wall issues. I don't see those as health, safety, welfare. So on those, I'll give you a little more time. I'm going to give you 120 days on those. But if either of those deadlines is not met, there will be daily fines of $250 a day until compliance is achieved. So make sure that you get everything complied within the times that I've given you, and there will be an order that spells all that out.
Understood. Thank you. I'll also be making a payment for the rental license today.
Okay.
So, Mr. Magistrate, the air conditioned units, and there is a picture of them. Some of them are up pretty high, and they're wedged in. They're not properly secured. The concern is they may fall. I don't know if we could get a picture up there on that, Monique.
See that again.
Yeah, they're up several. There's one picture that could sort of show it, but there's other pictures of them as well. Yeah, there's better pictures of them up top. They're okay. There you go.
Oh.
See, they're wedged in up top there, and some of them are leaking, and they're rusted, and I'm not really too sure that they're secured very well at all. They're not braced in properly.
And that's 18103I, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Now, the ones on the bottom floors obviously wouldn't be a concern, but the ones that are 4 or 5 stories up.
Well, I'm not sure I can slice the bread that thin in terms of the order,
Yeah.
but, looking at that again, I think your point is well taken. I would be inclined to move that to the 60-day instead of the 120-day deadline, because I could see, especially that one that's on what looks like very wet wood that's sagging. If that fell, that would be really bad. So I am going to amend my order. I think your point is well taken. The 18103I is also the wall unit air conditioners will be the 60-day. I don't think the clothes dryers fall into that same category, so I'm willing to, so half of 18103I, I think you need to get done the air conditioners within the 60 days, but the other part with the clothes dryers, I'm not as concerned about. I'm willing to leave that in the 120-day time frame. Are you going to be able to get that order? Is that? Okay.
Maybe, Tyler, you indicated yesterday that the clothes dryer has been fixed?
Yes, they have been repaired, and we have a contract. Essentially, it's a coin maintenance. This company takes half of the coin revenue from
Okay.
the dryers, and they maintain them free of cost. So,
All right, so we'll just put 18103I under 60 days because it sounds like the clothes dryer issue's already been resolved, Mr. Petrick. You just need to go out and put your eyes on that and verify it and sign off on it, I guess.
Yes, sir. That's-
All right, good deal. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you both.
okay, understood. Thank you.
Moving back to agenda item number 14, case number CE 211-00038, case address 806 Hampton Road.
I need to be sworn in, I'm sorry. I am.
Okay,
Can you swear me in, please?
pardon me?
Can you swear me in,
You weren't
please?
here when I swore everybody in. Do you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Ma'am, were you here when I swore everybody in? Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much.
All right. Sonny Bin, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 5th, 2021. Notice of violation was posted at the property and at City Hall on October 7th, 21. Certified mail was sent on October 6th, 21. It was also received. The property was cited for codes 105.1, 11.0.3, 7434A1H, 94442C1, 94482A, and 9471C. I have made contact with the property owner. The property is in compliance with code 94482A and 105.1, pending inspection. The property is still in violation for code 11.0.3, 7434A1, 94442C1, and 9471C. As previously stated, the permit for the installation of the front door was submitted and just pending for inspection. The city is requesting an additional 15 days to gain compliance for codes 7434A1H, 9471C, and 90 days for codes 11.0.3 and 94442C1, or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
So 15 days for the first two and 90 days for the last?
Correct.
Okay, got it. All right, let me hear from the respondent. Yes, ma'am, if you could tell me your name and address, then you could tell me about the case.
Okay, my name is Vanessa Cousins. I live at 806 Hampton Road, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33405.
Can I get you to move the microphone a little bit closer?
Can you hear me better?
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I received this violation. I moved into this, I purchased this home on June 18th of this year. Within weeks, I made contact with Ms. Binns, and she discussed with me about like how the home was before it was purchased and how there was so much trash and how there was a lot of washer and dryers and cars parked all over the yard and things like that. So I discussed with her like what my plans were of cleaning up the place, which I have taken out a lot of trash from the front yard, backyard, under the house, everything, even painted the house so it can look a little bit better. So when I'm looking at these violations, I'm looking at that there's something about a trash, which it was trash day when she passed the first time. The second time, I had put the trash closer to the gates, which I think she took a picture of today. And then the other thing was the door. There was like a lot of rain for a couple weeks, and the door was a wooden door, and it was at the bottom. A lot of water had hit it, so it started coming apart at the bottom hinges. So literally, I had to put wood and hold the door up, and then went out, purchased the door, and then had my dad install it. Okay. So I did put a permit in on the 26th, and I'm just waiting to hear back from them, which they said it can take up to 3 weeks.
Okay. So, and then on the door, and that the city's recommending that I give you 3 additional months to get the permit taken care of and get that done, and then 3 months on the landscaping, getting the sod taken care of.
So,
The trash cans, if I read this correctly, the code sections that you've been cited, it's not so much where you're putting it out on trash day, it's where you're storing the trash cans when it's not trash day, so you're not supposed to be able to see them out front, they're supposed to be put like, I guess, behind a fence or
Correct.
somewhere that they're not able to be seen from public view. That's the issue that is being raised here.
so the gate on this side is like, it's coming apart, so it's really hard to open and close that. So I leave it right in front of the gate. If you saw the picture that she took today, this morning. And then throughout the entire neighborhood, everyone leaves it in front of their gate, or like on the side of the house where you can still see it from the street.
Can you probably give offline, give some guidance on how that can be complied easily, I suppose?
For the trash can? So if you're having issues with the side, the wooden gate, I could put it to the opposite side of the rear of the property, so it's not visible to the street. So when I'm passing, I shouldn't be able to see it.
On the upper side of the house, it's the chain link fence, and it's a whole.
That's correct, so that's why I said to the rear of that property. So if you're unable to open the fence on the opposite side where you're storing it in front, I would put it in the rear of the property, so it's not visible.
That whole area is still sanded.
Well, and you guys
so-
can work that out offline, I don't think we need to,
I tried,
yeah,
and then I contacted her supervisor, which I haven't heard back from.
okay. All right, ma'am, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
I think that's it.
Anything else from the city?
No, that's it.
All right, well, city has proper notice with the posting and the received certified mail. Respondent is also present today at the hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence that I have reviewed, I will find that the property has complied with City Code 105.1 and 94482-A. We'll find the property remains in violation of the other code sections that were cited. I'm going to accept the city's recommendation in this case. I'm going to allow 15 days to comply with 7434A1H and 9471C, and those are the ones that have to do with storing the trash can and the recycle bins and the other outdoor storage items and getting those moved out of public view. For the other violations that have to do with the landscaping and the inspections for the front door, I will allow 90 days to bring those into compliance. If either of those deadlines, though, is not met, I will assess daily fines in the amount of $100 per day until compliance is achieved. So make sure you get those, especially those 15-day, the trash can and the recycle bins. That should be really easy to take care of. And then 3 months should be plenty of time to get the other stuff done. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have no other respondents here.
Oops.
Okay, agenda item number 2, case number CE 2108-0241, case address 723 43rd Street has complied. Agenda item number 5, case number CE 2107-0333, case address 930 Ardmore Road.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement, 930 Ardmore Road, was cited on July 28th, 21. Certified mail was sent out on October 1st of 21. Posted the property in City Hall October 20th of 21. No contact with the owners of the property. The violation was 94482A, which is parking requirements. I'm asking 90 days to comply or $100 a day fine after that.
All right, tell me, what's your recommendation?
90 days, 100.
90 and 100. And then what do they have to do? They have to, the
Redo.
gravel's not acceptable, that would have to be either pavers or paved
Yes.
or asphalt or
Asphalt, pavers, or,
Okay.
mhm.
And no permit's been applied for at this point or anything, but 90 days, should be able to turn that around in 90 days, I would think.
Yes, sir.
All right. We do not have any respondents present, as was indicated. However, the city has proper notice. In this case, I will find the property remains in violation as cited, accept the city's recommendation, allow 90 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 6, case number CE 21100013, case address 2523 Ridgeway Avenue.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. This property was cited October 1st of 21, certified mail sent October 19th of 21, and the property was posted October 21st of 21. No contact with the owner of the property. It was cited for 94-487-B-1, which is a prohibited vehicle. It is in compliance as of today, so I'm asking for a finding of fact. It did not come in compliance until after my compliance date.
What was the deadline in the notice?
Deadline of the notice was October 15th of 21 was the reinspection day.
And it was still there on that date, but
Yes, sir.
it's been removed at this point.
Is it removed? Yes, correct.
Okay.
It might come back, I'm sure. It might be
All
a
right,
transit
well,
thing.
So I will find proper notice, and accept the city's recommendation, issue a finding of fact. The property is now in compliance, but did not achieve compliance within the deadline set in the notice of violation, so we'll make that finding of fact.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Agenda item number 7, case number CE 21090090, case address 315 Fern Street.
Michael Williams, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. Property 315 Fern Street was initially cited on 9/9/21. Certified mail was sent on 9/9/21. We do have a signed certified mail receipt on file. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted on 9/9/21. Property was cited for 18106A, clean and sanitary, 18106B, excessive growth, 18-107-5, garbage container storage, which specifically deals with odor coming from the dumpsters, and 94-315-A, dumpster screening, 94-315-B-1, outdoor storage, and 94-485-B-1-E, paving and striping of the parking area there. With regard to this property, there's an ongoing problem with trash. Oftentimes, the dumpsters are grossly overloaded. Trash blowing through the parking lots literally blowing down other streets. And so it's an ongoing problem where I have to constantly ask them to go out and pick up the trash and so forth. They did, to their credit, they did order an additional day in order to help, alleviate with the overflow of the trash. And I think some of the overflow, because their dumpsters are kind of open to the whole public there, people just dumping things there at will. And so it's a never-ending, ongoing issue. At any rate, what the city is requesting is with regard to 94-315A and 94-485-B-1-E. The city is requesting 60 additional days in order to comply, or a fine of $200 per day be imposed. With regard to all other code sections, the city is requesting 20 additional days in order to comply, or a fine of $100 per day be imposed.
Okay. You do have proper notice in this case, based on the evidence and the testimony I've reviewed. I do find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation. In this case, I will allow 20 days for the property to be brought into compliance. Thereafter, daily fines of $100 per day except for 94.315A regarding the dumpster screening and 94.485B1E regarding the parking lot marking, striping, and coating. Those will allow 60 additional days to comply, but daily fines of $200 per day if compliance is not achieved within that time frame.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9, case number CE 21090280, case address 3901 36th Court, Unit C 211.
Good morning, Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 3901 36th Court was cited on September 23rd of 2021. The property and City Hall were posted on September 28th of 2021, and certified mail was sent on September 27th of 2021. The property was cited for 18-1023, 18-103C, 18-103E, 18-103I, 18-106A, and 18-95C. I've had no contact with the property owner or, excuse me, or management, and I've had no further contact with the tenant. I'm not quite sure if the property is in compliance, as I've had no further contact. The city is asking for an additional 30 days or $150 per day until compliance is achieved.
What is that? Oh, that's the air handler.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, okay. And the violation of 18106A, you observed that?
Yes.
All right. I don't need to see a picture of that. All right. I will find proper notice in this case. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation. As cited, I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 30 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $150 per day until compliance is achieved. There's the picture anyway.
Yes.
Agenda item number 10, case number CE 21090284, case address 4502 Greenwood Avenue.
Natalie Clark, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. 4502 Greenwood Avenue was cited on September 23rd of 2021. The property and City Hall were posted on September 28th of 2021, and certified mail was sent on September 27th of 2021. The property was cited for 18-103B. I've had no contact with the property owner. The city is asking for an additional 60 days or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
How many days?
60 days.
You said you'd have no contact, so you don't know if this is an insurance claim
Correct.
case or not?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, you do have proper notice. I will find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation in this case, allow 60 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is
Thank you.
achieved.
Agenda item number 12, case number CE 21090201, case address 531 21st Street.
Joe Petrick, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This case is in reference to a vacant apartment building property that was issued a notice of violation for broken windows and doors in disrepair. There were holes and openings in the exterior of the structure. It was also in need of painting. There's excessive trash and debris on the property, excessive vegetation overgrowth, trash can in view of the public, missing address characters, and a chain link fence in disrepair. The notice of violation was issued September 17th via certified mail and posting at City Hall as well as the property, and required 10 days to remove the trash and debris, store the trash can per ordinance specifications within those 10 days, and post address characters within 10 days. 30 days to repair the doors and windows, remove the excessive growth, and repair or obtain a permit to replace the fence. I have not heard from the respondent. As of today, the property has come into compliance with Code Section 18103. There's a mistake here. The windows and doors have been repaired, and the building has been patched and painted. get that code section that it did come into compliance for.
So that's 18103A, they complied with all that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 18103A did come in
Okay.
compliance. The property remains out of compliance with code sections 18106A. Trash and debris remain, and more has accumulated on the property since the notice of violation was issued. 18106B, some of the excessive vegetation has been removed, but more needs to be done, particularly to the rear of the property. 7434A1J, the trash can remains in view of the public. And 78-6, the address characters have been placed to the front of the property, but they need to be replaced along the alley as well. And 9432A4, the chain link fence remains in disrepair. The city is asking for compliance within 10 days, or a $100 a day fine be assessed for the trash and debris and excessive growth. Additionally, because there appears to be somebody there working now, after that 10 days, because of the amount of trash and debris there, the city's asking for an abatement order because the trash and debris, the excessive growth can harbor insects, rodents, and can pose a health, safety, and welfare violation to the surrounding properties.
Are you asking for 10 days on the chain link fence issue as well?
We're asking for 30 days on the fence.
30?
Yeah, 30 on the, yes, sir, 30 days on the fence, and 30 for the address characters.
Okay. City has proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited, except for the violations of 18103A, which have complied. I'll require 30 days to comply with 78-6 regarding numbering standards and 94302A4 regarding the fence maintenance. I will require 10 days to comply with 18106A and B and 7434A1J. If any of those violation deadlines are not met, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved. In addition, for the violations of 18106A and B regarding clean and sanitary conditions and excessive overgrowth, I will find that those violations, as they currently exist, do constitute a threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and authorize the city after those 10 days have expired, if it chooses to enter the property, abate those specific violations and assess the costs.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 13, case number CE 2110018, case address 315 Alameda Road, Unit 102.
I'm sorry. Sonia Bin, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 4th. Notice of violation was posted on October 7th. Certified mail was sent on October 5th. The property was cited for codes 18103G, 18162A, 18103C, 2232A. I have made contact with the property manager. The property is in compliance for codes 18103G and 18103C. The property is still in violation of codes 18162A and 2232A. The rental license application was submitted, but the property manager, in agreement with the city recommendation for additional time to pass the inspection. The city is requesting additional 90 days to gain compliance, or $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
When it passes the rental license inspection, that'll also clear the path for the certificate of use?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I will find proper notice in this case. Based on testimony and evidence, I will find the property has complied with City Code Sections 18103G and 18103C, but remains in violation of City Code 18162A regarding a rental license and 2232A regarding certificate of use. I'll allow 90 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 15, case number CE 21080537, case address 935 Macy Street has complied. Agenda item number 16, case number CE 21090072, case address 376 Forest Hill Boulevard has complied. Agenda item number 17, case number CE 21090273, case address 1303 11th Street has complied. Agenda item number 18, case number CE 21100136, case address 623 South Mangonia Circle has also complied. Agenda item number 19, case number CE 21090007, case address 938 31st Street.
Good morning, Officer Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code. This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Notice was achieved by certified mail, posting. Certified mail was returned on 9/21. My manager, Mark Joyce, spoke to the property owner, also sending the property owner a link with the application for the rental license. One of the other court officers, Officer Joe Patrick, also spoke with the tenant sometime last week. There's a photograph of the tenant. Could we go back to that? That's a photograph of the tenant there. So the city's requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter. There isn't an application in the system for this rental license.
It's been applied for? Or
No,
not?
there's no
Nothing.
application on file.
Okay. All right, I will find proper notice in this case, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll allow 30 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 20, case number CE 21090079, case address 2919 Spruce Avenue.
This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Certified mail was signed for on 9/13/21. The property was posted on 10/22/21. City Hall was also posted. I've had no contact with the property owner. The city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance at $200 a day thereafter.
Okay. I will find proper notice in this case with the signed certified mail. Based on testimony and evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited. I will allow 30 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 21, case number CE 21090081, case address 3240 North Flagler Drive.
This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Service was accomplished by certified mail, which was signed for on 9/15/2021. On 10/22, I called the number that was listed for the realtor for this property because of the price. It's like $50,000 a month. And the realtor did tell me that the property is listed for rent. So
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that was fraudulent. So the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance at $200 a day thereafter.
All right, thank you. We'll find proper notice in this case. We'll find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll allow 30 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 22, case number CE 21090088, case address 110 Arlington Place.
This property was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Notice was achieved by certified mail, which was signed for 9/13/2021. I've had no contact with the property owner. The city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
All right, I will find proper notice. I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll I'll allow 30 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $200 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 23, case number CE 21090089, case address 8000 South Flagler Drive.
This property too was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Certified mail was signed for on 9/17/2021. I've had no contact with the property owner. However, on last Monday, I made a drive by the property and spoke with one of the neighbors who said, yes, the property is being rented and there's a lot of noise coming from the property on the weekend. So the city's requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
Okay, I do find proper notice in this case. I will find property remains in violation as cited. I will accept the city's recommendation, require 30 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 24, case number CE 21090145, case address 336 Marlborough Road.
This property too was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. Notice was achieved by certified mail, which was signed for on 9/18/2021. I've had no contact with the property owner. The
Say
city's
no contact?
requesting.
No contact.
No contact.
Okay.
City's requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
All right. We'll find proper notice. I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will require 30 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Agenda item number 25, case number CE 21080286, case address 831 North Olive Avenue has complied. Agenda item number 26, case number CE 21100078, case address 1881 North Tamarind Avenue.
Good morning. Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 1881 North Tamarind Avenue was originally cited October 7th of 2021, excuse me, for clean and sanitary conditions and excessive overgrowth. Service was achieved by certified mail. All violations are still current. I've had no contact with the owner. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 7 days or abatement.
Phil, there was also 18106K landscape maintenance. You had only talked about excessive growth and clean and sanitary. So is the landscape maintenance also still outstanding?
Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, it's cut off on the agenda, but yes.
And you want an abatement order on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many days?
7 days.
Yeah, I will find proper notice. I find very clearly that the property remains in violation and that violation constitutes threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. I'll allow the respondent 7 days to comply. After that, the city is authorized to enter the property, abate the violations, and assess the costs.
Agenda item number 27, case number CE 21100087, case address 1009 22nd Street.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 1009 22nd Street was originally cited on October 7th of 2021 for excessive overgrowth, landscape maintenance, and failure to comply. Service was achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 7th of 2021, as well as City Hall. All violations are still current. The city is asking that the property come into compliance within 7 days or $100 per day thereafter.
All right. I do find proper notice with the certified mail and the posting. Based on the testimony and the evidence I reviewed, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation and require compliance within 30 days. Thereafter, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 28, case number CE 21100207, case address 735 20th Street.
Officer Phil Cartwright, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 735 20th Street was originally cited on October 15th of 2021 for excessive overgrowth, landscape maintenance, parking requirements, and outdoor storage. Service was achieved by certified mail. The property was posted on October 15th as well as City Hall. I have made some contact with the owner, and if you look at some of the pictures, there has been partial compliance with the excessive overgrowth. So the property owner has complied with 18106B, excuse me, 18106K, and 94482-A. The violations that are still current are is 9471-C, the outside storage. The city's asking for an additional 10 days for the unpaved parking that was corrected because it is a vehicle that does not have proper tags on it. I couldn't find that out until it was actually moved. So we're asking for an additional 10 days for them to get that rectified, or $100 per day thereafter.
Okay, you do have proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property has complied with all code sections cited in the notice of violation except for 9471C regarding outdoor storage. I will allow 10 additional days for compliance. After that, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Agenda item number 29, case number CE 211000230, case address 1129 21st Street has complied. Agenda item number 30, case number CE 211000312, case address 2121 North Tamarind Avenue has also complied. Agenda item number 31, case number CE 210900076, case address 701 56th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited September the 9th. Certified mail was sent September the 9th. Certified mail was returned. City Hall was posted September 23rd. This property was cited for 74-34A-1J, 94-71C, 94-482A, 26-35-B. Compliant violations are 74-34A-1J and 94-71C. The the remaining violations are the 26-35-B and 94-42A. For the repeat violation, it was actually brought into compliance on October the 1st. And the remaining violation of 94-42A, the city is requesting 10 days or $50 per day after. For the repeat violation, the city is requesting $25 per day for every day that it was out of compliance.
Which code section was the repeat?
That was the garbage can.
Garbage can placement?
Yes, sir.
How many days was that in violation?
Ooh, that I don't have on here. Hold on. Let me check. Pull up my calendar. 52 days.
How many?
52 days.
And you're asking for how much of a fine for those?
$25 a day.
Hmm?
$25 a day.
25, so
$1,300.
$1,325 is $25 a day for 53 days.
52 days.
52 days, so that would be $1,300. Um, 9471C complied. So 9442A, you're asking for how much time?
10 days.
10, that's granted, and daily fines of
$50 per day.
That's also granted. If I didn't say you had good service, you have good service with the posting and the returns, after the return certified mail. 7434A1J, was a repeat. Oh, what was the case that the repeat is based on?
This case.
I just want to make sure it was in the last 5 years.
Hold on, please. Oh, my page is cut off. Can you pull that for me, please? It's CE 210400048.
So that was from 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's repeat violation, and does that cover it? I think that's everything
No,
for this
that's
case.
everything.
Okay, thank you.
Agenda item number 32, case number CE 210900180, case address 427 51st Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on September the 16th. Certified mail was sent September 17th. Certified mail was received September the 20th. This property was cited for 74-34A-1J, 34-102A, 94-71-C, and 94-485A. Compliant violations were 34-102A and 94-485A. Remaining violations are 74-34A-1J and 94-71C. The city is requesting 20 days or $50 per day after.
Okay, I do find proper notice in this case, based on the evidence and the testimony I reviewed. I do find the property has complied with 34-102A and 94-485A, but remains in violation of the other code sections that were cited. I'll allow 20 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines $25 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 33, case number CE 2109018, case address 721 57th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Robert Watkins. This property was cited September 20th. Certified mail was sent September 21st. Certified mail was received September 27th. This property was cited for 94-71-C, 18-106M, 74-34A-1J, and 18-103E. Compliant violations were 18-103E, 74-34A-1J. Remaining violations are 18-106M and 94-71C. The city is requesting for this one 20 days or $50 per day after. I've had correspondence with the property management group. Every time they tell me the property's in compliance, I go out and nothing's been done.
Okay, you do have proper notice with the received certified mail. Based on the testimony and evidence, I will find the property has complied with City Code 18103E and 7434A1J. Remains in violation with the other code sections cited in the notice. I'll allow 20 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 34, case number CE 2109022, case address 717 57th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited September 20th. Certified mail was sent September 21st. Certified mail was received September 23rd. This property was cited for 18-106B, 18-106M, and 74-4-C-3. No violations have come into compliance. All violations still remain. The city is requesting 10 days or an abatement on this one.
Yeah, okay, I will find proper notice with the received certified mail. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will find those violations constitute a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. I'll allow the respondent 10 days to comply. After that, the city is authorized to enter the property, abate the violations, and assess the costs.
Agenda item number 35, case number CE 2109022, case address 415 58th Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Robert Watkins. This property was cited September 21st. Certified mail was sent September 21st. Certified mail was received September 24th. This property was cited for 18-106B and 18-106M. All violations still remain. The city is requesting 10 days or $50 per day after.
10 or how much, 100?
$50.
50, thanks.
There've been maintenance guys there. No one's called out. Drove by, put my card in the door. They were there yesterday. I'm not sure what they were doing, but I passed it by again this morning, and the maintenance truck was there again, but they've done no lawn care.
They're not doing anything. I will find the proper notice with the received certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll allow the respondent 10 days to comply. After that, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 36, case number CE 21090272, case address 711 53rd Street.
City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Robert Watkins. This property was cited on September 23rd. Certified mail was sent September 23rd. Certified mail was returned September 29th. City Hall was posted September 24th. This property was cited for 18-106G, 94-442C-1, 74-34A-1J, 94-302A-3. Compliant violations were 74-34A-1J, 94-302A-3. Remaining violations are 18-106G and 94-442C-1. The city is requesting 30 days or $100 per day after.
Robert, can you, oh, there it is. You posted. Thank you.
Is the paint because of the rust stains on
Yeah, I spoke to the gentleman out front. I told him he could just pressure wash it. If not, just paint over it.
Oh,
But,
I see.
yeah.
Right, there's a good picture. All right, you'll do find proper notice with the posting following the return certified mail. I'll find the property remains in violation of 94-442C1 and 18-106G, but has complied with the other code sections cited in the notice. I'll allow 30 additional days to comply with the outstanding violations. After that, daily fines of $100 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 37, case number CE 21070158, case address 259 Pilgrim Road.
Good morning. Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on September 28th, 2021. Certified mail was sent out September 29th and returned October 4th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on September 29th. This property was cited for landscape areas must be grass, location of artificial turf, and artificial turf in a residential property. I have made contact with the owner and explained the violation. He understands it needs to be removed. It's right there, the corner of the visibility triangle, right next to the sidewalk. He understands it needs to be removed, but he requested some additional time. The city is recommending 60 days for this property to remove the artificial turf and put approved ground cover, or the city is asking for a $150 a day fine.
Okay. All right, you have proper notice with the posting following the returned certified mail. Based on the evidence in the testimony, I do find property remains in violation as cited. I'll allow 60 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $150 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 38, case number CE 21090196, case address 925 Francis Street.
Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited September 16th. Certified mail was sent September 17th. It was returned September 23rd. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on September 27th. This property was cited for 18103B, exterior walls and siding require repair, trash can placement in public view, screening of restricted vehicles, and outdoor storage. Complied violations are 7434A1H, the trash can, and 94487B5, the trailer that needed to be screened has been removed. I have had contact with the owner at the property. I met her while posting. I explained the violations. The owner states that she's going through an insurance claim for the exterior siding. right there in that photo. And she needs more time. The city is recommending 90 additional days to comply with 18103B, or we're asking for $150 a day fine. For the outside storage, the city's recommending 15 days or $100 a day.
All right, we'll find proper notice in this case. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I'll find the property has complied with City Code 7434A1H and 9447B5, but remains in violation of the other code sections cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 90 days to comply with 18103B. If that is not complied within the 90 days, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved, and then 15 days to comply with 9471C regarding outdoor storage. And if that is not complied within the 15 days, daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 39, case number CE 21090198, case address 936 Francis Street.
Richard Pezmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited September 16th. Certified mail was sent out September 17th and returned September 24th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on September 27th. This property was cited for 18162A, rental license violation, 78-6, address characters need to be displayed on the building visible from the street. 2232A, certificate of use required for the rental property. 94487B1, remove prohibited vehicle. Is a trailer greater than 10 feet in length being stored on the property. And 9471C, outdoor storage. There's residential items being stored in excess on the porch. I've had no contact. There's been no changes at the property, no rental application in our system. The city is recommending 30 additional days to comply all violations, or we're asking for a $200 a day fine.
All right, we'll find proper notice in this case. I will find property remains in violation as cited.
The water bill's in a different name, and the property address on Papa is in like Jacksonville, I believe. So it's a out of city renter that's living renting.
All right, I will accept the city's recommendation, allow 30 days to comply. After that, daily fines are $200 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 40, case number CE 21090202, case address 941 Francis Street.
Richard Pezmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on September 16th. Certified mail sent out September 17th, returned September 23rd. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on September 27th. This property was cited for 18103B, roof repair required. There's two structures on this property that are covered with deteriorating blue tarps. 18106G, exterior paint is peeling and missing in areas. 78-6, address characters. 94446-2, landscape maintenance. There's vines growing all over the building on the west side. I've had no contact. Where am I? Okay. I've had no contact, and there have been no changes at the property. There is a permit for re-roof, but it's only for the south building, not for both structures. And it failed plan review back in October. The city is recommending 60 additional days to comply all violations, or we're asking for a $150 a day fine.
All right, you have proper notice with the return certified mail followed by posting. Based on the testimony and the evidence, property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation, allow 60 additional days to comply. Thereafter, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 41, case number CE 2110030, case address 265 Edmore Road.
Richard Pezmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 4th. Certified mail was sent out October 5th, and it was signed received October 8th. In addition, property and City Hall were both posted on October 5th. This property was cited for 18103B, repair roof walls foundation. The structure has exposed elements of the roof. The soffit and fascia board is rotted, requires repair. 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions. 18106B, excessive growth. 18215B, failure to comply. And 94302A4, fence maintenance. I have had contact with the owner, and as of today, the only remaining violation is 18103B for the roof. The owner is requesting 60 additional days to get that work done.
60?
60, and the city agrees with that. We're asking for a fine of $150 a day after the 60 days.
Okay. City has proper notice with certified mail and the posting. I will find the property remains in violation of 18103B, but has complied with all other code sections cited in the notice. I will allow 60 additional days to comply. Thereafter, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 42, case number CE 21100158, case address 380 Potter Road.
Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 14th. Certified mail was sent out October 18th. It was signed received October 25th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted October 18th. This property was cited for Florida Building Code 105.1, failure to secure building permit, and Florida Building Code 110.3, required inspections. This property installed some palm trees in the easement at the property. That photo shouldn't, that's a different property. They installed palm trees in the easement without permit, without approval. They dug out that paved easement and put in trees. And 78-431, obstruction of the city right-of-way. And 94-442E, landscaping of swales, parkways. In that section, it describes that private areas that serve to an extension of the public space. That's a utility easement that they planted trees in. I've had no contact. There have been no changes at the property, and all violations remain. The city's recommending 30 additional days to comply, or we're asking for $150 a day fine.
All right, I'll find proper notice in this case. Based on the evidence and the testimony I've reviewed, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll allow 30 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $150 per day until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number 43, case number CE 21100180, 4401 Washington Road is the case address.
Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited October 14th. Certified mail sent out October 18th. It was signed received October 23rd. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted October 18th. This is a vacant lot that was cited for clean and sanitary conditions, excessive growth, and a failure to comply those violations. The property failed re-inspection on October 27th. As of yesterday, they actually got a contractor out there to cut the grass. That was after the re-inspection date. So the city's asking for a finding of fact of these violations.
Okay, I do find proper notice. We'll find the property now is in compliance but did not comply within the time set out in the notice of violation, and will issue a finding of fact.
Agenda item number 44, case number CE 21100187, case address 520 Puritan Road.
Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited October 15th. Certified mail was sent out October 18th. It was returned October 26th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted October 18th. This property was cited for 18215B, failure to comply with the following violations: clean and sanitary conditions, excessive growth, and landscape maintenance. As of today, the work, it looks like they did most of it, but the work is incomplete. The violations still remain. The complete rear and side yards are fully overgrown, and parts of the front yard are still overgrown. I've had no contact with anyone at this property. The city is asking for 14 additional days to comply with these violations, or we're asking for an order to enter the property and abate the violations, since they do constitute for health, safety.
All right, I will find proper notice in this case. I will find, based on the testimony and the evidence, the property remains in violation as cited. Find that those violations clearly constitute a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare. I will allow the respondent 14 days to comply. After that, the city is authorized to enter the property, abate the violations, and assess the costs.
Agenda item number 45, case number CE 21100189, case address 328 Nottingham Boulevard.
Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited October 14th. Certified mail was sent out October 18th. It was signed, received October 23rd. In addition, property and City Hall were posted on October 18th. This property was cited for violations 18103B, repair roof walls foundation, exterior walls and structure required repair, clean and sanitary conditions, excessive growth, exterior paint, junk inoperative vehicles being parked and stored on the property, and landscape maintenance. I have had contact with the owner, Michael. There have been some big improvements since citing. As of today, the only remaining violation is 18106G, the exterior paint. The owner is asking for additional time. The city is going to ask for 60 additional days to comply with 18106G, or we're asking for a $150 a day fine.
Thank you. I will find proper notice with the posting in the certified mail. Based on the evidence and the testimony, I will find property remains in violation of City Code 18106G, but has complied with all other code sections. I'll allow the respondent 60 additional days to comply. After that, daily fines of $150 per day will be assessed until compliance is achieved.
Agenda item number
Thank you.
40.
Thanks. Hey, before we get, I guess Mr. McFarland is the last batch of cases. Look, we take a 5-minute recess, go off the record real quick.